Well, Louie the Bear welcomes you to Big Bear Lake, California. And of course, Louie's permanent home is here in the new, beautiful Boulder Bay Park. We're going to take a little tour, and then I want to do a little chat with Jeff Mathieu. Hi, Jeff.
Hi, Ron, and hi to all of our friends in the Bear Valley, and welcome to our new living room for the Bear Valley, Boulder Bay Park.
What an entrance.
I tell you, we needed a dramatic gateway to complement the bridge, the new dam, and then also to look at what we're doing with the Boulder Bay Rock and to have a complement that really sets a tone for we're back home.
Right.
And for our visitors to come and recognize this is what the Bear Valley is all about.
You bet.
And we're thrilled. We're thrilled with the thoughts that folks had from many years ago to have a Boulder Bay Park, but in our time to be able to recreate Boulder Bay Park and have the water interface, which we're going to take our viewers through, I think it's just marvelous.
Oh, it is. And the nice thing is you had a lot of financial help, both from Sandy, who owned the market at one time here, gave what, $300,000?
Oh, Sandy Coogan and her mother were just remarkable.
Yeah.
It was $300,000 that helped create the original Boulder Bay Park.
Right.
But for that, we would not have had the ability to take over the plot of land and make it a meaningful setting.
Right.
And they actually established our roots that we have that made for the park.
Yes.
And to look at that, and then many years later to come back as we have, and to have the help of the state of California, to have the help of our local voters that approved Measure Y. And improving Measure Y, we had the dollars to complement the balance of our construction fund.
Right.
And also to build what we're going to see in just a few minutes, the balance of Boulder Bay Park in a way that we never imagined years ago. So we're absolutely thrilled, and Louie is truly giving us the welcome to our visitors, but we know this to be our home.
That's right.
This is the anchor.
Now we have a lot of pink ribbons all around, but the reason for that is this landscaping is fairly new, and it's xeriscape.
Yes, we're quite excited. It's long blade grass xeriscape. This is not a ball field, but this is a walking path and area, and we thought we could start the growth of our hydro-seeded surface area, give it maybe 3 months of ability to grow, and go from there. Initially, we were going to have the park closed as we grew the blade grass and as we created what we have out here today. And we thought, no, our public would really understand if we just had our taped off areas. And Ron, you may want to show a sign or two that is very tasteful and says very much bladed grass. And folks have fully respected that little sign.
Sure.
We have no footprints out here, and it's absolutely growing just according to schedule. We take samples of the root structure to make sure that the soil and the water combination has been effective, and in turn it has. You're looking at probably 2 weeks of a hydro-seeded surface. We would anticipate that the green carpet would begin to emerge about the first week of September.
Sure.
And again, with that we're going to have a permanent, beautiful green belt to complement the water interface that we have adjacent to the fishing dock.
And best of all, permanent, beautiful restrooms.
Oh,
yeah.
After having porta potties out front that have been so difficult, not only for our guests that are here to enjoy Boulder Bay Park, but also those that have to go through the very difficult chain control during the wintertime.
Right.
Boulder Bay Park doubles up and has a different personality in the wintertime, and the CHP and Caltrans will redirect folks to Boulder Bay Park to chain up, and we know our families need for their children and others a restroom, and a restroom is 3 times larger than the prior one,
right,
with modern facilities within, and again we'll be able to accommodate all weather environments, whether it's the marine of the summertime or it's the snow of the wintertime.
Right. Well, let's move on and take a little tour.
We shall.
Well, Jeff, as we come around to the front,
this is our walking path that leads us along the waterfront, and it's so great to talk about the waterfront because previously we did not have what we call the interface between the park and the water. And the walking path that you see the father and child walking down is complemented by the xeriscape that is on either side to provide the green, to provide relief with the picnic benches. Even our rocks, Ron, as you see out there, are purposely flat. So that's a resting place. It's a place to take a photograph. It's an opportunity to lay things down as you are enjoying your time with your family and others, and really provides a different kind of view and perspective.
Boy, it sure does. What a photo op area.
Isn't it? And again, one of real enjoyment.
You can see people taking pictures already.
Yes.
You can't come here without taking a photo.
Without a doubt.
Now let's sort of stroll down, and there's a fishing pier here.
Yes, we were quite jealous that we had one on the far east side near the cutoff. And we had a very nice fishing platform that was located over near Fawnskin. But we didn't have one on the south side of the lake that really was a great fishing hole.
All right.
And without a doubt, there are fish to be caught in Boulder Bay, and to give folks an opportunity to get that much closer to the big rock of Boulder Bay and to enjoy the water in a way that you normally cannot do without a vessel was real important to all of us.
Right.
And in doing so, that's where the state of California came forward and said, if you're actually going to improve a park, and you're going to encourage visitors and residents to be adjacent to the water and enjoy the water, we'll be delighted to partner with you. So we received a state grant of nearly $275,000 that allowed us to do all of the engineering infrastructure work, and then to bridge a wonderful gangway that leads to our fishing platform that we're going to walk out on in just a few minutes.
Right. Do you have a sprinkler system here? Or?
We sure do.
So,
and it's actually tempered for the low bubblers instead of the high spray.
Oh, sure.
And it will be really effective and probably use about 1/3 or maybe even 1/5 of the normal water that you would have for a public area.
Right.
And then during certain times of the year, there will be no watering because there won't be a need for it. With the root structure firmly established.
Sure, and then over the winter, it'll hibernate and come up in the spring.
And we actually protect for that because irrigation system that does not have the capacity or the depth or scope of piping to withstand the winter would not be right. So we purposely planted what we had out there in such a way that we can withstand the cold temperatures, the brittle frost that we do have, and again, not have to replace either sprinkler heads or the PVC that's located below.
Right.
So quite wonderful.
Yeah. Let's walk down. Look at the fishing pier.
That would be ideal. I'd love to take our visitors.
Oh, look at this. Got litter bags, clean up after your dog.
Well,
and I'll bet most people do.
We have incredible cooperation. We have that on Knickerbocker Creek. We have that at Veterans Park. We have at Rotary Park and other places that folks are able to bring their pets and to enjoy the setting that we're in.
Right.
And if you give people an opportunity to cooperate, it's amazing in the Bear Valley how often they do.
Sure.
And our visitors look for the standard that we set, and it's remarkable the type of response and cooperation we have.
Right.
In fact, Ron, you can see a family going down the decomposed granite trail. You notice we have two different kinds of trails. We have what some people call a dirt trail, but it's actually decomposed granite, and it's set into such a hard pack that it doesn't move, and it gives you a natural feel as you go through a park.
You bet.
And look at our visitors that stay within the bounds and off the grassy areas that are still growing.
Now this is this is a weekday, but on weekends, boy, it really is packed.
It's amazing.
I mean,
not only do we have our parking lot full, but we purposely have the ability to park out front safely off the highway and take a quick picture as the gentleman is doing out there with the white car.
Yeah.
Or actually load in and go to the pergola or the shade structure, I should say, at the very end of our property to have a picnic and not have to travel too far.
Wow. Yeah. Let's move on.
We shall. You'll notice as we are moving on that we have a purposeful definition barrier, we call it, and that's what our fence line is, both to create an architectural feature that's low slung and doesn't compete with the rest, as well as to keep people in certain areas that go down to the water.
Right.
We have our neighbors and local businesses that like to drop a kayak, and that's something that MWD does allow and encourage, and there's an area for them to do if that's their choice. or if they want to have an experience, they enter the water. That is another entry point for the water. But you'll see it's a relief that is between the barriers that we have up here.
Right. And of course you can't launch any large boats or motorized
No, we have no
boats.
motorized vessel launching here. We don't have an official non-motorized vessel launching either. But again, MWD recognizes around the shore that there are different parts where people put in their kayaks or their canoes, and as long as they have been inspected and they have the permit, I think that's what they allow and have take place. But no, we do not have marina facilities here. Our emphasis is really to give people an experience adjacent to the water without a vessel, and that's what we're really doing to encourage folks. To the extent we can keep the natural vegetation which we have in and keep the
look at that.
habitat viable for the little critters and other animals out here, I want to make sure that it stays that way as well.
Right.
Earlier that we have very tasteful, thoughtful signs, and you'll see the one here that says the impression you leave will last a lifetime, and that's why folks actually respect that, and you don't see footprints on this whole newly planted vegetated area.
No. How neat. Well, Jeff, look at this. This is the fishing bear.
Well, it's remarkable because the fishing that we do have here is actually among the best on a fixed platform that we have around the lake. Today's just a beautiful midweek day, and you can see half the fishing dock is actually occupied. The folks that are out here are well prepared and underprepared, and yet they're all having a great day.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting as we look at this dock. This is one that's specially made to allow those that are disabled and wheelchair bound to be able to go up and down.
Right.
And same thing with the level and height of the enclosed fencing structure.
Now there goes some real fishermen down
I'm
there.
telling you, he's actually got the tackle box and the preparation, and I think he's going to do an overhead cast in just a minute.
Yeah. Now swimming.
Yes.
You can swim.
Yes. MWD, the lake management, has had a long-standing tradition and a formally adopted resolution that permits and encourages swimming anywhere around the lake within 50 feet of the shoreline. Obviously, the majority of our Boulder Bay area, including that which is nearly to the rock, is within that bound, and it's actually a very enjoyable experience and very unique one for our visitors, and MWD asked us to make sure we provided for that. We have safety precautions, as you see down here by our sign that says no lifeguard on duty, because that is a fact. We do not have a lifeguard, and the lake patrol is not going to be able to monitor and watch over the swimmers like they do over at Meadow Park or Swim Beach. And having what we have here, all of our people are aware of what the precautions are that they need to take. But it's really remarkable to see the families gather, to see how we have all come together in a way. And Ron, I think we've caught a fish out there. We're all gathering looking. I think he's going to pull one up.
Wow.
Sure hope it's not a carp after all this.
No. You know, Fish and Game estimates we have, I think, over 500,000 fish in the lake.
And the
huge
variety,
amount.
And because of the strong, thoughtful presence of Scott Yulee and Mike Stevenson, we've had just great success to really reduce the carp population and allow the bass and trout and others to come forward in a much greater way than a couple years ago. And isn't it remarkable the lake level we have this year?
Oh, it's great.
Remember all the rings that we had around the rocks in past years, and all that exposure is gone and covered by water this year.
4 years ago we were down 17 feet.
Amazing.
And came up to full over the winter.
Well, as you and I talked about regarding that incredible winter we had, Mother Nature left us with a lot of snowfall and snow melt, and look at the benefit we have out here today.
Isn't this something?
Hey, Ron.
And look at them all coming down
and we're talking about a Friday morning. We're not even talking about a weekend. Look at the crowds that we have out here.
This is a jewel. Now, the city has 3 parks.
Has 3 parks. In addition to Boulder Bay Park, There's also Veterans Park that we went through a major revival on 2 years ago to recreate it as well. New landscaping, new benches. We retrofitted all the fixtures that were needed. Created the most sacred and memorable Veterans Wall or Veterans Park.
There, he's got one.
Oh, there we go. And our second park, obviously, is Rotary Park that we've really taken a kind attention to. Look at that fish, Ron.
Isn't that something?
That's why they gathered it around, and word gets out that we have fish here at Boulder Bay.
That's right. That's the nice thing about Big Bear Lake is that you can fish and catch fish anywhere from
without a doubt.
From standing still boats anchored to trolling to shore fishing.
And let's not forget, any time of the day.
Any time of the day.
Shall we take a walk down and take a look at that?
Yeah, I'd like to see this. Well, look at this that they just caught.
There's another one tied up over there.
Oh, really?
Is there really?
Walk over there. Wow.
Yeah.
You want me to show you?
What kind of fish is that?
It's a carp.
I know.
Carp, 6 pounder. Stuck on.
That's what a carp looks like. Well, this is a view from the fishing pier, I tell you.
It is.
Isn't that a... Look up there, the rocks.
Oh, the shoreline is so wonderful that folks have actually turned around to take photographs facing the opposite direction. We've had it historically only going to Boulder Bay.
Right.
And now we're actually going to the federal cabins and other homes located on the other side of the highway. Our new shade structure is really housing great family picnics and gatherings and celebrations that we hope to have in the future.
You bet.
And look at that shoreline that we have.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Pretty neat.
Isn't
Yeah.
it? First time here?
Yeah, is this all new?
All brand new.
All brand new.
We had a beaten path of a park out there before that was neglected for about 10 years, and we put a lot of effort to rebuild it this year. Then had the brainstorm, why not have a fishing platform attached to a park? And then it came out here, and this has been like gangbusters.
This is neat.
3 weeks old.
Oh, wow, this is cool. I seen Hugh Hauser on TV yesterday, and he was doing Big Bear Lake 2 days in a row. He was there.
Right.
Yeah, no.
Oh,
That's
he's
a
wonderful,
repeat.
too.
Is it a repeat?
Yeah, it was here 2
really
years
cool.
ago.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
You're going to be on TV.
Take
Where
care,
are you
guys. Have
from?
you.
I'm from Crestline.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So you're used to the altitude.
Yes.
This is our talk show host at Big Bear.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Doing a live
nice.
feed.
Oh, nice.
You betcha.
All right, see you later.
Have a good day. How neat. Now look at no overhead casting. That's what that
It's
says.
for the safety of those that are on the platform.
Yeah.
So we want side casting, and there's plenty of room to do that.
Right. We have another fish over here.
It's pretty windy. Don't put it in the same place, it'll be.
Look at that view there. I've
Is that a
got
family
all
moment
the
or what?
rocks and the trees. Now, are swimmers allowed to go out and sit on the rocks?
No, they're not. They're not encouraged to do that.
Right.
And again, based upon the volume and the time that Lake Patrol has, I think
Right.
we'll ask them to come down, and most of the time there'd be cooperation. But I guess we're all youngsters at one time and
You
wanted to push the envelope a little bit, so that happens. from time
Well,
to
there's a
time.
lot of rocks, jumping rocks down by China Island.
Sure, that's ideal there.
And
It's a little dangerous, though, Ron, I think, for
yes, it is.
for our children to be on.
Right. What a view.
But nonetheless, talk about a wonderful setting and a great environment.
Well,
We
you're
can't stop
excited, aren't you?
this. I am thrilled.
Yeah, I know.
It
You've
cannot
done
be-
so much. You've been here 4 years.
4 years.
And look what's happened in 4 years.
Well, I tell you, Ron, when there is an intent and an effort, and again, the kind of cooperation that we receive from everybody, it's an absolute joy to be in the Bear Valley.
You bet.
And to be able to have the projects go forward, whether it's street building, it's the village, or it's Boulder Bay Park, again, it's been wonderful.
It has.
You bet.
Well, we love you and doing
Thank
a
you.
good job. I hope you're here many, many years.
That's my intent.
You bet. Oh, that's great. Well, we've been touring, chatting with Jeff Mathieu, the city manager for the city of Big Bear Lake. And again, Jeff, thanks for all you do.
Absolute joy, Ron.
And,
And anytime that we have the Bear Valley together on events or being able to go through our wonderful settings is a
Right.
joy for me.
That's good.
Thank
Thanks
you.
so much. Keep enjoying your summer.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you.
That's a bluegill they just caught before we go.
Got another one.
Boy, this is really great. Look at that. Now that's a catfish.
Yeah, catfish.
That's good eating.
Oh man.
That's good eating. Catfish is good eating. Carp is not good eating, folks.
You got a big one.
Here's another one. Man, they're just catching and catching and catching. Well, there you have it, folks. This has been a tour of the new Boulder Bay Park developed by the city of Big Bear Lake. And we've been touring with Jeff Mathieu, our city manager. So that's it from here. Now don't go away. I'll be back after these commercials.